Ongoing Directive is actually a gear set that got a buff when trying to use with the Tinkerer mask over something like the Catalyst mask, for example. Why? Because Catalyst mask gives you 24% of weapon damage and status effect, and that's about it. There is a proc condition though, like you have to bleed your target to get there, and you can lose the stacks as well if you're not putting your enemies into status effect. However, with the Tinkerer mask, you can have an extra damage talent from your secondary weapon, which could be higher than just that 24% that the Catalyst mask provides. So you can add amplified damage talents on your weapon, which will obviously going to beat the damage of the Catalyst mask. So Tinkerer mask clearly wins when it comes to the damage versus the Catalyst mask there. So this is definitely the better option. So I do have a build here that I want to show you, which you can take pretty much anywhere you want, including Countdown. If you like farming Countdown, it'll work significantly well over there. People will love the hollow point ammo that you're going to be giving them for that amplified damage. So that's awesome. You will be able to clear those hunters really easily. And also you can take this build to raids if you like doing raids, for example, because all you have over there is a bunch of ads, like too many of them, and people will love that extra damage over there. And your damage is really high as well. Like we are hitting more than 1 million crits on the body, and I'm using LMGs. Now I do have a couple of variants that I want to show you. One is for the group and the other one's for solo. Just a little bit of a gear change here and there to give ourselves more survivability, because I always say if you can survive anything, you can kill anything. So if you're interested on this build, let me show you. But first, let's just talk about the modifiers, because I am using them. So let me just quickly show you the modifiers. Now, as for the modifiers, you can use whatever modifier you want, but I do use the security link because that gives me a lot of armor, like basically makes me tankier. And since I do play harder content, I do prefer that most of the time. Now, as for the passive modifiers, I use a tier a day. It's always active, gives you tons of health, like over 560k health. So that's really sweet, because if your armor is broken, you're not going to instantly die. You do have extra bit of health to do something about that lost armor, right? Next, we use the safety first here, which gives us a lot of hazard protection. So when your active modifier is active, like the security link, you're going to get like 85% of hazard protection from it, and also use the loaded up for that extra bit of damage. So that's all the modifiers I use. Now, as for the build, well, this is the build over here. You can see I am using the gunner specialization mainly for that 10% armor on kill. Plus also it gives you weapon handling for standing still for a second, and also ammo regeneration, which is always handy. And also you can get 50 round mag for your LMG if you're using LMG, which we are using for this build. Now, why did I chose the LMGs here as our main weapon here? Is because the higher magazine size. Now, I am not using the extra mag from the gunner on the Negev here, so this is basically the base round mag, is because I'm using 10% of crit damage on it. But I will change that to that 50 round mag if I'm playing something like a Countdown, because hunters over there has really high health, so I'll need that extra bit of mag over there, because the more mag you have, the more hollow point ammo you'll get basically. So that's pretty sweet. Now, why am I using Negev as my primary and not the GR9? Well, the GR9 is awesome. You can use that. I was actually using it most of the time. I was using it to take down rogue agents in the open world. So it worked really well. Because of that higher mag, I was having more hollow point ammo, and that was enough for me to take those 30 plus million HP rogue agents out there, and 2 of them obviously. So that was really important at that time. But I do use Negev for the general gameplay, like heroic control points and stuff like that, and even legendary missions. It does the job, has a higher base damage than the GR9. Even without expertise, it is actually higher damage. Plus, they both have same RPM, so obviously it's gonna hit harder, and also more optimal range, so it's pretty sweet as well. Now, I also keep it for one of more important reason, which is the long under barrel rail, because I can use the laser pointer, linked laser pointer from the technician specialization if I want to, especially if I'm trying to use the flatline talent. So that's a plus point there. So that's why I keep it as my primary. Otherwise, GR9 all the way. It does great job, works really well. If you have a GR9, absolutely use it. Now, for my talent, I chose obviously Sadist, because it is an ongoing directive build, and Sadist will absolutely going to be there. Like, one of the talent needs to be Sadist, because it's 30% of amplified damage to bleeding targets. You have to use this, like seriously. And the second talent, I chose Pressure Point, which I can change to Flatline as well if I want to. That's also one of the main reasons, like I said, I'm using the Negave. But Pressure Point is also set and forget, just like the Sadist. As long as you have the Hollow Point ammo and you're bleeding your target, both of these talent will be active, Pressure Point and Sadist, and you're going to get 45% of amplified damage active at all times without have to proc anything or have to worry about crit kills or anything else. It's just active all the time with you as long as you have the Hollow Point ammo. So that's why I chose Pressure Point and Sadist as the weapon talent. So that's pretty much my weapons here. I know a lot of people like using rifles and stuff, but like I said, the more magazine actually helps in harder content and against enemies with higher HP like rogues and hunters and even legendary NPCs. So that's why I chose the LMGs, and I am hitting 1,000,000 crits on the body, so that's pretty sweet damage as well. So that's basically my weapons. Now, as for the gears we have over here, obviously we're using the Tinkerer mask, which makes all of these happen. So we can use both of our LMGs, the secondary LMG talent getting transferred to the primary one. So that's pretty much what it does, as long as it's not an exotic or a named weapon, and obviously the same type of the weapon it is. So that's why it's working. So yeah, that's the Tinkerer mask. I do have a crit chance mod over here. Now, as for the ongoing directive piece, obviously you have to use the chest piece of it because that gives you the highest amount of damage, because the chest piece talent basically gives you 50% of amplified damage. I mean 30% extra, because normally ongoing directive will give you 20% of amplified damage on your hollow point ammo. Now, if you're a new player, you're confused like what is hollow point ammo and what's happening here. Well, 2 piece of ongoing directive gives you 15% of status effect, 3 piece gives you reload speed, though there is no crits or anything over here, but 4 piece is the talent rule of engagement. That's where all the magic happens. Whenever you shoot an enemy with status effect applied on them, you mark that enemy. That mark will stay for 10 seconds, and once you take down that marked enemy, or your group members take down that marked enemy, everybody in the group will get hollow point ammo, which is basically bleed ammo, and that amplifies your weapon damage by 20%. However, if you're using the chest piece, that gets amplified to 50%, so 30% extra. So that's why we always use the chest piece. So we always going to get that 50% of amplified damage. And every time you take down enemy with that hollow point ammo, your hollow point ammo refreshes. So basically you have unlimited ammo at that time. And even if anyone in the group shoots that enemy that has targeted by the hollow point ammo, everybody in the group will get that hollow point ammo refreshed as well. So that's why it works so well. And that's why I told you that you spread your damage. You see a bunch of enemies in the room, you make sure you mark multiple of them, because you don't know which enemy that your group member is going to take down, right? So just mark all of them, just spread your bullets, mark him, and then focus on one target while your group members taking the other targets that are marked. Everybody's ammos keep getting refreshed over and over and over like that, which is pretty sweet. So yeah, that's what ongoing directive does, and that's how you should be using it in the first place. Now we have a weapon damage, crit damage mod for the chest piece. For the holster, we have weapon damage, crit damage. For the knee pads, I chose armor here and crit chance. And for the gloves, we have weapon damage and crit damage. So that's my 4 piece of ongoing directive. Now, as for the high-end, well, this high-end backpack will depend on whether you're playing solo or you're playing in a group. If you're playing solo, I highly recommend something like Steelworks, which gives you 10% armor on kill. So now we have 20% armor on kill on the build, because we do get 10% from the gunner specialization, and we have an extra armor here as well. So 2 blue cores armor, plus we have crit chance, crit damage, and crit damage mod. And obviously, we get talent. It is, again, another talent that is basically set and forget, so you don't have to worry about proc it. As long as you have hollow point ammo, every single damage talent that you have, whether it's your backpack or the chest piece, you know, the amplified damage from the chest piece, or your weapon talents, both of them, everything will be active as long as you have hollow point ammo. And you're always going to have hollow point ammo, because every time you get a kill, you refresh your hollow point ammo. Or if your group members are getting the kills, they're also helping you refresh your ammo as well. So that's how easy and simple it is to use the build. Now, as for the group variant, well, all you have to do is just change the backpack to something like, let's say, a Grupo backpack or any damage backpack. You can also use Sheshka if you need more crit chance. You could do that. You can use Sheshka there. Add weapon damage on it if you have it. Like Grupo will always come with that weapon damage. And then you have the exact same like stats here, like attributes, and the same damage talent, which is wicked. And then this will hit more than 1,000,000 crits on the body easily. But if you're staying with this Steelwork variant, you're going to be hitting like close to 900k crits on the body, which is again still really good amount of damage, plus you're getting 20% of armor and kill on top of that, so this is not bad either. Now, how do you activate ongoing directive? Well, just use the Banshee Pulse. Just use the Banshee Pulse, or use your any grenades. If you have foam grenades from the gunner, you could use that, or just normal frag grenade and bleed them. Any type of status effect, like Banshee Pulse is the easiest way to activate it. So you just pulse him, they get the marker, you kill or you group member kill, doesn't matter. You all get the hollow point ammo active basically all the time. So yeah, that's how you use it. And if I show you my stats here, you can see my crit chance is really high over here, and crit damage is also really good. And for the defensive stats, we do have that armor and kill, which is 20%. We do have some hazard protection, 25% from beginning. But if you activate the modifiers, you will get 85% of hazard protection, which is pretty good as well. And our max health is also high again because of the passive modifier. So we do have quite a lot of HP there as well. So if your armor goes down, that health will be a little bit enough to like maybe, react and get your armor back or something, yeah, or get back in cover, yeah. So that's pretty much the build. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like, subscribe if you want, and I will see you guys in the next one. Till then, peace.